All right, welcome. So I'm going to go over the announcements for week 5. One thing to remember is after this week, congratulations, we have 2. Yes, 2. Hey, see my face there? Wave. Wait, no, wave to me, seriously. 2 weeks left before the AP test. These are for both AP Physics 1 and AP Physics C Mechanics. So let's get right into them. First announcements. Let's see here. Hello, welcome to week 2, week 5. And yes, there's 2 weeks to the test. AP is contacting you. This is important to understand, you guys. You need to make sure you are checking your email. They're going to be sending lots of information your way that you need to make sure you're responding to. As far as opting out and opting into the test, they did send you one, I believe, last week. Although it said, are you taking the test? That was simply a soft request. They're trying to make sure that you are actually contacting them. If you are not getting these emails, log on to MyAP, see which email you're using, and make sure you are checking that email. This is vital. They are not contacting the teachers as much. Even Miss Talent, who's the AP coordinator, they are contacting you guys for this, so they're putting the onus on you, just so we're aware. Make sure you're responding to these emails as well. One other thing, the testing dates. Yes, there are 2 testing dates. Well, don't we get to choose? No. Take the idea of choice right out of your brain. This is a test that will be online. If you choose not to take the test on the day that they offer it, the first day, and you take it the second day, and let's say lightning strikes your house, or you have a family emergency, or your brother pukes all over your computer, or your sister, or whatever, they'll give you some long, lengthy response. I'll sum it up for you. Tough. If you only try on that second test day and something happens, there will be no leeway, nothing given. It's too bad. So if there is any chance at all, if you're at some funeral but you're not at the funeral during the time of the test, try to take it during that time. Make sure you're doing that. Also, make sure you're responding to this stuff. They sent out that there is a parent video that parents can watch. They're going to want to watch because you're going to make sure you have a quiet area to take this test on. I believe this week or next week, they're going to send you guys a video about what to prepare for so you can see the format, how things are going to look. It's important that you watch those videos. Again, they're putting the onus on you. So make sure you are paying attention. Make sure you're checking those emails. AP test taking. This is an interesting one. Boys and girls, they have already caught cheaters. Wait, what do you mean, Mr. Cooper? I mean, there have already been people. One of them, the first one caught, was actually in the AP Physics 1 community, was already caught. His colleges, because I don't know if he said it was a he, but their colleges were already notified that he was a cheater. Here's the funny thing. That student has no idea how they knew he was trying to set up cheating. They're not playing around with this. There will be no, oh, it goes in your no, it'll immediately go on your permanent record. It'll immediately talk to them. If you have someone there helping you stay on task or clean up your work, that's cheating. And the ultimate test is I will look at it, you guys. So make sure you are not even thinking about cheating. Doesn't mean you can't use your notes. Doesn't mean you can't use books and all that stuff. That's fine, but it has to be your work and your work only. No help from another person. Even if that's help saying stay on task or no, don't type that, type that. No, that's cheating. Now, on this test, there will be no free body diagram drawing and no graph drawing. Yeah, I actually had to ask them to re-verify that for me. What that means, though, is you will be having to talk through what it should look like. How is the graph going to look? And that can be a little bit more challenging because you can miss details often. So it's going to be that way. What they keep saying is this is all prose. So theoretically, the test can be completely typed. Well, what about solving out problems? Yes, there will be some problems you have to solve out. And I think this week or next week, they're actually give you a schematic for if you want to, like if you do LaTeX, where you can type subscripts and superscripts and things like that. Theoretically, they want the test to be able to be completely done on the keyboard. Now, they do understand that that's not going to happen for a lot of people. They've even surveyed chemistry and AP physics are going to be big ones that are going to be using handwriting, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But think about it this way: if you can type it on there theoretically without having to draw something, that's the type of question they're going to ask. And you will notice in the test questions that I have on this week's test, and I also talked about it on last week's test, I've modified them so that you have to describe and not draw the graph. Ultimately, drawing on a computer is very difficult. You need very specific tools. Those aren't available, even closely widely available. Also on that note, only one device can be used. If you have limited devices, you can contact AP. This is the last week to do it, and they will send you a device. I don't know what they mean by device, but they'll send you a device where you can take the test on. And I believe you can also contact the school. That is online if you're having trouble with connectivity. Again, you can get in contact with me or Miss Talent. Miss Talent's going to be probably the best, or AP is actually the best, and they will try to figure out a way for you. But theoretically, you can only take the test on one device. You can take it on a phone. A lot of people aren't going to want to do that, but you can. So if you're taking that on your computer, and you are taking the picture with your phone, which is how I would do it, you're going to have to find a way to put them between there. I'll talk about that in a little bit when we get farther down in here. But only one device, you can take the test on only one device. Cell phone pictures for work upload. So as you know, I have been asking you and requiring you guys, and there's a reason for this nonsense, for you to take a picture on Google Drive, take a picture on your phone, upload it to Google Drive, and then turn it in. And the reason I'm requiring that, the main reason, is because that is most likely what most of you are going to do for taking the test. How do you transfer a picture from your phone to the computer? It's very difficult. But if you upload it to your Google Drive, you can then sort of re-download it on your computer and then turn it in. That way you could, if you're using your computer as the testing device, you can still use your phone. Now that's an extra step, but remember, you have 5 minutes to turn in that work. Don't mess around with that time. If it's uploading slowly, it's okay. It'll prompt you with the new question and let it upload in the background, and I'll answer some more of those at the Q&A stuff. A couple more announcements. Note grades went in, as you may have noticed. Some of you who did it did a great job. Some of you didn't do it. But please check It's Learning before you ask me any question about them, because literally every single person got a comment, even those people who didn't turn it in. Now I'll admit, some of the hundreds which you guys got was nice job or really good, but there were some crazy issue with those notes. For instance, and this was not just one, not even two, like 5 different people, and these were different notes. If you take notes on energy bar charts, please remember there should be energy bar charts in those notes. Like, that's a no-brainer. As far as making up those grades, I don't know right now, because you guys should have known how to take notes at this point. But you need to make sure, because I gave a lot of feedback in the past couple weeks, but I was very firm on this one. Actually watch the notes. It was clear that some of you tried to peruse the notes. Guys, these notes are valuable. Do the problems. These are teachers. And by the way, these videos are going to get better because they're starting to do review, and they're going to start doing review targeted specifically towards this test. So make sure you're doing the work with them. Make sure you're writing it down and upload those to them, please, for the love of heebie-jeebies. Make sure you are drawing diagrams. No, you're not going to have to draw diagrams on the test, but your notes should have diagrams on them. They should have the graphs on them, the pictures. Some of you, spectacular job. But that was the clearest point out that was like, whoa, hey, you have 3/4 of a page of notes for 40 minutes and there are no diagrams? You done lost your mind. Take good notes with good picture. And again, this is also practice for the AP. You guys, if you turn in something to AP that they can't read because the picture stinks, or because it's too light, or your handwriting makes chicken scratch look like calligraphy, whatever. That's bad, which is why I'm pushing you to do the notes. And these are the steps, and I've mentioned this many times. Notes should be neat and dark. Some of your notes are very hard to read because they're too light. They need to be neat and dark. So should the problems that you do for AP. Be over the notes and not at an angle when you're going to take the picture. So you should be directly over the notes with your camera, whatever you're using, to take that picture. Don't shoot them at an angle. That messes things up and makes it harder to read. Area should be well lit, so where you're taking it should be well lit. Pretty sure that's the wrong lit, with no shadows. Many of you have taken photos, and there's this random shadow in there, and it literally blacks out the screen. Notes should take up the whole screen. Don't have all this border around of your pretty table or your pretty floor or whatever you're using. The notes should be as large as they can when you take that picture. That's vitally important. All right, so other announcements. How to make summary pages. Next week, we're going to start talking about summary pages. One thing you can do is go through the book files, which are online, and you can take a look at them, and there are summary pages. We're going to be able to look at I'm going to talk about how to take your notes and make summary pages, because when you take this test, you really don't want all your notes out. Remember, this test, you may not be able to finish it, and you can still get a 5 without finishing it. That's a very common cheating process to keep people from cheating, is you keep them too busy. So you're going to want to do as much of the test as possible, but if you have all your notes and you're looking up every single question, it's going to take you too much time. So you want to have summaries of your notes. Ms. Cooper has done this with many of you if you have her, but we're going to talk about how to summarize our notes and boil them down, so when you take the test, and I recommend taking it at a table where it's nice and quiet, you have some notes and common issues that you have all laid out for you so you can quickly reference. It's all about quick referencing what you're going to need for information. Makeup work. Okay, so this is a thing. A lot of you are turning in junk, and I'm giving you bad grades. And some things can be turned in, or some of you forget to turn it in. Once I grade it in It's Learning, so once the moment you see it's grade, and by the way, satisfactory does not mean satisfactory. Satisfactory means it was graded. Once I grade something and it says satisfactory, I am not looking at that post again. You need to look at the post to see what the information I gave you on it was, but I'm going to be not randomly, but every week putting out makeup work posts. Okay, this is for work that we've been doing during the quarantine time, or if you have issues, you type it in there and I will respond back to you. That way I'm not having to go search through 20 different posts for people's work. I put one out that I think goes dark today at Tuesday. Today I'm going to make it go dark at Wednesday, so you have another day to look at, or I'll do Thursday. How about that? We'll make it go dark at Thursday. But if there's other work that is not in the gradebook updated, anything, you can tell me about it. If you have proof of it, turn it in there. If it was a set of notes that haven't been graded, but you turned them in before, but I haven't looked at that post again, you turn them in there. I don't want to have to go through old It's Learning posts to find stuff. It's very confusing. It's very hard to do. It's much easier if it's a brand new post, and you can turn in multiple things there. So from now on, I'm not going to be going back to old It's Learning posts. There's going to be missing work posts, or I'll call it something else, where you can turn in work that needs to be fixed or graded, or you can ask like questions about work, or hey, have you put this grade in? You can put it there for me. That's going to be the best place to do it, so I can do it all at once and slam, bam, whack it in there. All right, live sessions. You guys, you really want to show up to these live sessions. I do have some interesting information. I do have some worthwhile stuff. I can answer questions. Next week, I'm going to be requiring you to show up to the live session. Also, I'm going to be going over, like these live sessions, I'm going to be going over some tips and tricks that I've gotten from people who are part of the test making community for this, so I can help you understand how to do a couple things and what they want on there. Last week, test and practice FRQs. I'm very sorry about not being able to go over the test with you. My wife had to leave town, which means I had to watch my two lovely children all by myself. And it was a little scary because there were some family issues. I did make a video on that, and I also made a video on the FRQs. Please make sure you go over those. I go over some important information on those. Those questions are very relevant to some of the question styles that you could be asked on the test. This week's FRQs, there's one of them. I didn't go two, and I'm only going to do one from now on. That's not fair, especially considering what's coming up with the YouTube videos. But this week's FRQs, I'm going to go over them, try to do them, take a look at them, come to the live session. This week test is on It's Learning. It is not on my AP. It will still start at 1:30. Wednesday is going to be 4th and 6th. Thursday is 3rd, 5th, and 7th. They start at 1:30 and they end at 2. I think it technically ends at 2:01. I want to give that extra minute, but it's a 25-minute question. Those are extremely hard to find, by the way. APC, you, I believe, are going to have to open up the thing. Everyone else had it typed, but yours has more diagrams on it, and I couldn't put it in there as easily as I could for AP Physics 1. But that is on there. Again, it's a 25-minute question. I know what kind of question it is. You want to answer it, upload that photo, make sure it's neat and nice using what I have talked about. My AP YouTube videos, you guys, these are going to get extremely specific. They are now starting to get into the review phase. They're going over some of the old questions, but I believe next week and the week before, because we only got 2 weeks, they're going to be going over very this test specific questions. Please make sure you are doing more than what I'm assigning. If you have time, if you really want to do well in this test, you want to get that 5, that is really how you're going to do it, because you're going to know exactly what you have. They're going to go over massive test strategies and things like that. YouTube comments. If you've watched this to the very end, this is a grade. Simply comment down below. Make sure if your name isn't your name on there, make sure you write your name and say something like, saw it, thanks, cool, so I can simply put this grade in for you.